Hello? Hello? Hi. I see I already have a few check-ins. Let me look through. Let me open up my thing. Hi, Gren. Thank you for checking in, Gren. And hi, Weetabix, and thank you for checking in, Weetabix. Hello. It feels like it's only been like 4 days, but it already feels like forever. I I feel like because of those 4 days where I was not on my phone like at all. I just didn't have time to do anything using the internet, so I feel like I was just disconnected from everyone and whatever was going on. And then I felt like when I signed back in on my social media and like plopped myself in front of my PC, I was like, how do I like do anything again? This like is so like strange. I don't like how am I supposed to interact with people? How am I supposed to make videos again? How am I supposed to stream? How am I supposed to do anything? Hello. I can't like it felt so strange after just only a few days. I probably I don't have many streams scheduled this week because I kind of have to get back into the groove of doing doing things again. And I'm also like behind on a lot. Surprisingly, taking 2 days off of work ended up making me behind. I had to catch up on stuff and I gotta actually work hard at at work. And then I also have to do a lot of like other personal things here. I'm behind on my projects now. I thought like I was so ambitious when I went to go travel. I was telling myself, "Oh yeah, like I'm going to do the things in the day and then in the evening I'll make sure I'll do these other like I'll work on my personal projects and take care of things." And the moment I would like get back to my hotel, I would like pass out. Aspirin juice. And I also the travel was it wasn't anything professional related, like if anyone thought that. No conferences. So I have conferences coming up end of May. And I'll be gone then too. Oh, this is your first time real here. Oh wow, welcome. Hi. It's good to see you. I was traveling just simply for like microbial family business. If you're like, if you know anybody in undergrad, you can like imagine like, it's like end of the semester season, and so I was at like a graduation. Thank you for the head pack, Gran. You have a genetics exam tomorrow? Oh my gosh. Good luck. You're gonna need it. But no. I'm kidding. You're gonna do great. I was really bad at genetics. For some reason, it just was not a. I really liked the topic of genetics, and I was like, went to class going, wow, that was so cool. But I feel like the exams were structured in such a way that I never really understood what was going on. Or maybe I was just not studying properly. I don't know. Oh, thank you for checking in, Ripko. Gonna be taking a chemistry class this summer though because a prerequisite for my next geology course. Summer courses. I was never a big summer course person, but I think that's because for like biology especially, you have to or like STEM, you're usually like doing a research in like experience during that time, or at least I was. Every summer I was pretty busy with research. Just saying hi and bye. Work about to start. Oh, that's fine. Good luck with work. Oh, thank you for checking in, Neutrophil. Genetics post Mendel was wild. Oh yeah, like I definitely like the beginning of genetics where I'm just like, oh yeah, like it's going like you make your little Mendelian squares and you see like, oh, the beans, they're wrinkly or they're green and they're yellow, they're green and they're yellow, they're wrinkly or they're smooth. Oh, I got that. I'm such a big brain genius. I'll definitely be the most best geneticist there ever has been. And then there's math. And then you have to start like figuring out the percentages of like things happening, and then it just keeps getting worse and worse, and it just keeps compounding, and I'm like, I don't like this anymore, guys. I'm not a big fan of what's going on. What's a low-level chemistry course? I think it's like oh, that's not so bad. I'm sure you're gonna do great, Gren. All fun and games until you stop doing Punnett squares and start doing math. Exactly. I just love the square. Like, take me back to the squares. It didn't help. My genetics course was like, I mean, I think it was good that the genetics course was set up more about real world examples. We just explored a disease in depth and talked about the genetics involved in like that disease's manifestation, which makes it really cool to learn, especially in an undergrad course, because you're kind of learning how it's applied. But it was really, really hard. And I also can't say I remember a whole lot. Unfortunately, first year exams are all multiple choice. Oh yeah, that's not so bad then, at least. Multiple choice, I have like a love-hate relationship with multiple choice. Sometimes it's like the best thing ever. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, multiple choice gods, for blessing me with the chance that I can just pick the right answer. But sometimes like it really goes against you, and like I would have preferred BSing some kind of answer in the short answer and hoping like I could get maybe 1 or 2 points rather than like, oh, I don't know this at all. Time to do a 1 and 4. Yippee! Yeah, I'm bad at that. I don't know, it just depends on the course. The chem course I need so I can take my next geology course, and my next geology course is only during the fall, apparently. Yeah, you have to like prepare your schedule and all that. I remember in undergrad I messed up something like that because I didn't realize one of the courses I needed to take was only for fall, and I didn't have the prerequisite, and I didn't do it in the spring, and then I like, oh no, it's all coming to shambles. I'm going to die now because I can't take this course in fall. But it turns out like you should actually talk to your advisor. Don't if you're in school, talk to your advisor. Your advisor is there to help you is my biggest advice. Don't be like me and make a schedule off of vibes. Inbreeding coefficients. Parentheses, sad. Yeah, it's genetics is so hard. If you're good at genetics, I'm jealous because I think the topic itself is super interesting. There's so many different concepts you can like explore, and as someone who's a lot of my work right now is cancer biology, and I kind of wish I had a stronger grasp on genetics. We're like doing work on like germline, can't like inheritance for different cancers, and I'm like, not very familiar with what like these terms really mean, and like when I read the papers I don't really get it. Like I don't really understand inheritance of the risk of inheritance, and I don't understand the penetrance, and yeah, it's kind of complicated. I've had to do a lot of like studying on my own. My advisor told me it was only a fall course before I registered for a summer course. Summer course was like, yeah, that's your mom is smart. I wish my mom, she was a cheerleader on the sides during undergrad, but she had like literally zero things to. She had zero input on what like I could be doing academically because she actually had like no idea what was going on. She was just like, oh, okay, yeah. You want to study biochemistry? Yeah, I'm good for you, sweetie. And I don't know what that means. She's like, she was always really worried about like, well, are you sure you're gonna get a good job? What do you do with that? And I was like, you I didn't know how to explain it to her. So I would go like, you become a scientist, Mom? And she's like, oh, okay, that's good. what did you think of the paleontology article I posted? Oh, I barely remember it now because I read it. I actually read this. I read it on the plane ride. I did think it was interesting, but I can't remember any of the specific details. I'll have to reread it. It was about the footprints, right? I couldn't. Sorry. It's. There's been a lot that happened this weekend. I was interested because the one detail I remember is they use like 3D modeling in regards to the dinosaur footprints they find. I just remember that stuck out to me, and I was like, oh, they use I guess 3D modeling is like that would make sense. Like that's a really good tool to like utilize to figure out how things should look. Trying to get into neuropharmacology, but I was forced to do the genetics module next year because of my schedule. It'll be worth it, but it's gonna be hard. Oh my gosh, neuropharmacology! What a course. That sounds so interesting. My master's was in molecular pharmacology, and so I think I know a thing or two about pharmacology, but not really. I think that was just a title they gave me because there was nothing else. Because it was like, what else do we give you? Okay, here you go. You were in that department technically, even though it doesn't really feel like I did much research pertaining to that. So, here you go. It'll be hard. Worth if it's gonna be hard. I'm sure you're gonna do great. I believe in you. My mom actually dropped out of college after her first year, but as I said, she went back to school. Yeah, I do remember you said that. That's good for her. Good. Yeah, I'll have to read the paper again, and I'll get back to you. I think it was not a hard to understand paper at the very least. Like, there's terms I'm not super familiar with and a lot of techniques, but the language itself was like easy to understand, which is good. I think it's because it was like a website article instead of like an academic paper, which is good. Usually those are better to understand for a person that's a lay person. But also, I know, at least from my experience, when I see papers that I do understand and it gets translated to like a website article, sometimes there's like misrepresentation of what actually happened in the article. Like it can be a little clickbaity. Depends on what website it's from, though. Always wanted to be a psychologist growing up, but I ended up going down the STEM route, and now I'm here. I feel like that goes like two ways. I knew a lot of people in my program who wanted to be psychologists and then went to go be researchers because they were ended up being like more interested in like mechanistically, biologically how like the brain is working and like the social, like just getting into the mechanisms of it, the brain. And then I knew some STEM people who went to go be psychologists because they were like, I'm more interested, not really that interested in what's going on mechanistically, or like I don't really want to understand like why you're thinking certain ways. Biologically. I can't pronounce words, but I want everyone to know, even if you can't pronounce words, if you like can't pronounce words in public, people will just laugh at you, and you just have to laugh it off with them. The amount of times I've presented like a pretty serious paper or topic in front of like other scientists, and I go like, you just you give them a chuckle, and then you keep moving. I have a friend from high school, and she's at my college, and she's studying psychology to go in criminal psychology. That is a pretty popular like subfield of psychology. I think people are really into criminal psychology, especially with the rise of like how do I call it, like those podcasts where they talk about like why a murderer did something. Not to say your friend is because of that, but I know I've heard that it's become a lot more popular of like a field. People are so interested in like how the criminal mind works. Hydrate the microbe. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, true crime podcasts. Yeah, those ones. I don't really like those. I don't really like true crime podcasts, but I know they're super popular. Psychologists and psychiatrists and neuroscientists should all hold hands and sing and have fun together. Yeah. They should. They should. I think that's what happens when you go to conferences that have anything to do with like the brain. There's just like a panel where you get all the different scientists in all their respective fields, and they go kumbaya at the campfire and like sing about how great the brain is. See, I'm actually good at pronouncing things, and my brain decides to jumble the words, and I just make blue bleh or whatever and go anyway and say what I think I'm pretty bad. Like, my brain jumbles a lot of things too, and sometimes I just don't know. I don't know how to pronounce the word. Like, I've read the word like 200 million trillion times, but then I've never said it out loud, and then I go, I'm stupid. That's not how you pronounce it. That's happened a lot. I'm also bad at pronouncing certain words. I think I just grew up saying the words like this, and then like it stuck with me. Like when I say the canine creature that is related to dogs, I go woof. But I know it's wolf. But I've always said woof my whole life. No one's corrected me until like I was a young adult. And they're like, do you mean wolf? And I was like, it's not woof. I thought it was woof. Like, I thought I'm saying it right. Woof. A werewolf. And my brain primarily jumbles things when I'm playing D&D for some reason. It's like, I know what this spell is called. Brain work. Yeah, my brain doesn't like cooperating with me. I know for like when I was younger, I like mispronounced calcium for a while too, because I used to think like it was pronounced the same way you would pronounce it in Japanese, which is calcium. And I would go like calcium, and they're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I'm like, calcium. I also didn't know how to say like refrigerator for a while too. I was like reizoko, and it's like, no, it's refrigerator. It's like, oh. And now as an adult, I see like therapeutic names, and I'm like, I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that. But then when I have to say it out loud, it's a mess. Like, I'm trying to think. There is a recent FDA approval for a cancer therapeutic, and I think it's called avutomenib. Avutomenib. And defactinib. Yeah, I think I have no idea. Cancer therapeutics and therapeutics in general is like the worst thing to pronounce. So bad. Psychologist X neuroscientist here would probably go hard. Someone should make that. I'm sure if we search in the depths of the internet, we can easily find this information. I'm sure there's someone out there who has done shipping art of the different scientific fields. But unfortunately, it might not be Yuri. I am more likely to lean that it would be like men, given like the amount of times men are like usually personified in this way in like communities, like looking at like Hitalia and stuff like that. Wolf is or was a common way to say wolf in the Northeast. See, I'm not crazy then. I felt like I was being like completely gaslit, that like it's completely ridiculous that I pronounce it like that. I was like laughed at. Not really, but everyone would say like, are you saying wolf? When we were teaching my youngest sister letters for context, we were teaching her the letter W. She'd say it would like double me because of the word you. Oh, that's so cute. Double me. I don't like the letter W. I don't. Something like W. It's like not very fun to pronounce. W. Very, very suspicious character. Double ew. Ew. Also, to say very, very what she say very, 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 very vet. That's cute. That's cute. I think listening to children speak is like the most adorable. So adorable. They just say like the funniest. They pronounce things so funny. They like just say random things. It's like, oh my gosh, you're just like a little human being with no experiences or consciousness whatsoever, and you're just letting anything rip. That's just too adorable. To live free of like a child and letting just saying whatever's on your mind. She would say vinegar, like vinegar. Vinegar is kind of a hard word. Um, there's also like the Baltimore accent where Aaron. Oh, I've heard people do that, like a video of the Baltimore accent. Aaron earned an iron earn. It's accents are so interesting. I think it's funny when a lot of Americans think, "Oh, I don't have an accent," and it's like, "Yeah, buddy, buddy, you do have an accent. You guys all have an accent. I have an accent. You, specifically pointing at you, viewer, have an accent." It's just, I think, it's easy to think you don't have an accent when it feels like you're the default. Maybe I always think it's funny with hearing like other countries and people around the world mimic the American accent, and it's always like it's a very specific kind of accent they go for. It's either like the super like Californian, like oh my god, or like the New Yorker, like I'm walking here. I feel like I rarely ever hear the extremes of those accents, like that people mimic, and it's usually like there's a mild form of it I can hear every now and then. I think I'm okay with figuring out like where someone's come from in America, at least regionally, based on how they sound. I myself have oddly advanced reading and speaking and writing. In elementary school, I was apparently reading at a high school level. Oh yeah, I was also doing that at elementary school. I would ran out of like books for them for me to read because I was reading like our school had challenges where we would go like, oh, your kid should aim to read like 100 books a year. Like that's the goal. Like, and that will make that's like if they can read 100 books a year, that's great. And it could be books of any level as long as it fits their reading level. And I would like blow through the 100 books in month one. And the school like would eventually had problems where it was just like, oh, I don't know, we don't have any more books, buddy. Like, I don't know, you're gonna need to find books elsewhere. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know, I guess I'll go to a real library or something. And yeah, they had other things to worry about than getting me more books because like who cares about the one girl that's getting like that's reading too many books. They need to help the guy who's struggling on like book like 10. That's okay. As a kid though, I was like kind of like I would be a little annoyed. I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all of this work and I'm reading so many books and nobody cares about me. And then it's just like, yeah, I get why no one cared about me. Who cares? I also like feel like I don't know. They need to divert they needed to divert way more resources, not to helping me. I'm Cajun. Do you really ever hear a Cajun accent like in pop culture? It's mostly died out. I speak more like average American than a bit of Southern. A Cajun accent. I can't say like I'm super duper familiar with the Cajun accent. I would probably like likely mix it up with just other accents. But I see it's not popular or not. Yeah, I guess like in pop culture, it's always ham-fisted, but that's like every accent. I feel like most accents in pop culture are like dialed to like 200%. Like You go to New York City and some guy will probably yell at you, but they're not gonna go, hey, like, bobbity boop ba 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 ba, like at you. I prefer audiobooks since my eyes suck at following lines on most books. I'm really bad with audiobooks. I don't know. I wish I could enjoy audiobooks because of the fact I think it would like increase how many books I get through a year, because I would be able to like listen and do other things, which is usually a big problem. But I just have a hard time following along with audio without like subtitles. And then so like if I want subtitles, I'd have to pull out the books, and then I'm just reading anyway. And it's like I don't know, I just can't listen. I may the thing is I can listen. I can listen really well, but something about like following along while listening for a long time, it just gets me. I think that's why also I struggled with lectures. I had to record a lot of my lectures in school because I just was like, I'm not following along. I'm gonna have to listen to this again. I'm gonna have to listen to this again and again and again when I get home. But I'm like, when I'm reading a book, I just pull out the good old like index finger and follow along. I go, oh, thank you for the head pat. I would just follow along with the lines, and I go, yep, 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 yep. I kind of read pretty fast, is what I've been told. Like sometimes I'll show someone will show me something on their phone, and it's like an article, and I go like, okay, scroll down, and they're like, yeah, we just opened it, and I'm like, scroll down. I think it's just like I'm not really like reading every word. It's really easy to like the sight reading like skills of like figuring out what words like pop in your pop, and you just kind of have to like go, oh yeah, 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 and then you like put together exactly what that paragraph meant. But I think that just comes with the fact that that's basically my job, and so I always like I feel like sometimes like if I'm reading something with other people, I have to go like, okay, I'll slow it down. I'll actually read every single word and line that has been written on this page. Speaking of books, I went to a bookstore recently. Part of my travels, we were just like hanging out, and I saw like a Barnes and Noble with a friend, and I said, oh, like I haven't been to like a physical bookstore in so long. Maybe I should check it out. What's Poppington in a bookstore lately? And oh my gosh, I didn't realize just how popular TikTok like book talk the like book community of TikTok is. There are just so many books in the front that just had stickers like as seen on TikTok, and I'm like, how people find books nowadays? We just go on TikTok looking for books. I noticed that like a lot of them were like romance books. So maybe it's just that specific genre. If you're like looking for it, you just find a lot of romance books. It's just kind of insane. It was also like a really ugly sticker. I would be pretty offended if I just want this book for like my own enjoyment to read, and I just have this really ugly like as seen on TikTok sticker right on the cover. It's like, oh my gosh, I found this book not through TikTok. Don't label me like that. Don't like don't call me a TikToker. Please. There was so many like I'm sure those books there's probably nothing wrong with them. They were not my taste though. I read through like the summary. I was like I feel like I am not in the like I have never really been into like romance like oh my gosh, will he won't he books. The thing is I eat it up in like rom-com, like anime rom-coms, I'll eat it up, but then when it's like a book, I sleep. I don't care. It's like, I don't care that like we're in our 20s and undergrad and we have misunderstandings, and oh, will she end up with him or will she end up with this guy? I can't. I don't know. Oh, and like there were so many of those. Like I feel like the whole table of books of that with that in different scenarios, like oh she runs a podcast, or oh they play tennis, oh they run a radio show together, oh he's like the president of a club. Thank you for the head pat. You remind me that I still need to read my books. I got to the painting. But now that summer I do. Oh yeah, you should read. Reading good, reading good. I only like romance when it's alongside another genre. Yeah, I can see, like, I think there was also a lot of, there was another table. There was so many different tables of romance books. It was insane. This Barnes and Noble had like romance book in table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this it was like here's the romance books for like your modern love, and then here's the romance books for your fantasy, dark evil fantasy, and then here's the romance books for I don't know what else. I don't know what else was going on, but I was like, wow, romance books are popping off. Most of the actual reading I do now is manga, manhwa. Yeah, I haven't read. I feel like I haven't read a good manga in quite a while now. Actually, after a while, I was like, oh, I actually don't like this. Yeah, I I feel like I was even looking at the manga section, and it was kind of lackluster, I have to say. Not that I was expecting to like find anything like some underground gem in the Barnes and Noble manga section, but I was like, I don't. Nothing is really like hitting. Nothing seems to be standing out. It was overall, it was a pretty disappointing trip to Barnes and Noble. I didn't find anything I wanted. There were some cool Lord of the Ring things there, though. I was thinking of getting them, but they were kind of expensive. They were just like Lord of the Rings atlas and dictionary, and I was like, ooh, they're kind of pretty. But I was like, do I really want to buy like for $30? And like, I really, realistically, I would look at it once, and then I probably wouldn't open it again. It just kind of sit on my shelf. And then and then this thought slowly occurred, like, do I really want things again? Like, should I spend $30 on a thing that's just gonna sit on my shelf? And I don't even have like I don't even have a lot of Lord of the Rings merch to justify like a nice shelf spot. So it would like be with my with my anime figures, and then it would look out of place. And yeah, I just talked myself out of it, I think. After a while, I was like, oh, why don't I like this? And found my first book with a girl liking another girl. I was like, I get it now. I do think what I've learned from other people who really didn't like romance at first, they just have to find like what gets them. And I've learned like romance writing usually doesn't get me, but like I'll eat up like any romance anime. I think I like romance anime way too much. Especially if it's wholesome. I think I just like really wholesome romance anime. I don't want drama in my romance. I want like fluffy, happy times. I want to be like covered in like sugar and vanilla and sweetness while I read it, and I go, oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And then I want to cry at the end when they finally like hug or something. Like the slow burn vanilla romance is to die for. It's to die for me. Like Kimi ni Toroke, I eat that up. Like 100 chapters, and all they've done is like hold hands. Yeah, I'm eating it. I've never been one from romance. Nothing wrong with not like if you have given it a try and you know it's not for you, it's not for you. Like I've been trying to get into more like how would I describe this, like fantasy like Western fantasy things. I've been trying to get into that because I was like thinking about Lord of the Rings. I was like, I like Lord of the Rings. What if I like look for other things like similar to it? And I realized maybe I'm not a big fan of that genre. Maybe I like it more in theory. But I also will keep giving it a try. Maybe I just have to find more things more close to Lord of the Rings. Yeah, high fantasy. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, I just find like I was like, oh, this. I'm just not a fan. I found that like the things I was reading, and I can't even remember the things I was reading, they weren't doing a whole lot for me character wise. And I think I've come to realize a big part of what I like is character development, and I like seeing interpersonal growth and like the character relationships developing, and a lot of those books that and like things I was like reading, they just weren't hitting in that way. Oh, welcome to the Petri Dish Kanto Show. Thank you for checking in. Fantasy sci-fi? I feel like I haven't really given fantasy sci-fi a good shot, so maybe like there's something there for me too, because I do like sci-fi. Ah, thank you for the head pat, Gren. You know, I'm so behind on like the things I wanted to work on regarding new redeems, like channel point redeems. I've been like animating stuff for so long. I have to work on that. But that's why there's going to be barely any streams this week, so I can like lock in on doing some of these projects. You're a very, very big fan of the Xeno series, so Fantasy Sci-Fi runs. Oh, the Xeno series. I do. I'm not like I never really gotten into them, but they always strike me as something I would probably really, really like, because it's kind of like right up my alley with other games and series I like. I am going to do an autoclave one. It's just like it's taking so much time. It's because I have like you guys don't understand, like, and I hope you guys will understand when I have all these projects finally released. But I'm like working on like 20 plus things at once, and I should just it's like my brain going like, what if we do this, what if we do that, and I should just really lock in and focus on like one or two at a time. But it's just so fun. It's just so fun to do so much work on everything, especially when you're the only one stopping me is me. But it will come. There's so many things coming. I have some models cooking, alternate models. The chibi form is still coming. There's the bacteria form coming. New channel point redeems. There's even like a model 2.0 in the background. A lot of goods. Ah, my water is a little warm. It's been pretty hot. It's been like warm here. I can feel summer is creeping its fingies right into like my apartment. It's no longer like cool enough to wear a sweater. We need to finance the autoclave machine. The autoclave machine will be coming. That one is like high priority because I think it will be really fun, and I think I would personally enjoy seeing it too, even though you guys are killing me. But I know you're killing me out of love. Wilbur is laying down by my feet, and he's keeping my feet very warm. Aw, okay, that's very cute. But I think because I am like kind of like sweating right now, I'm like, that does not sound enjoyable. Please don't touch me, Wilbur. It's already really hot. I don't think that phrasing makes it any better. You know, it makes it better in my head. It makes it's okay in my brain. I have to also. I can't believe before I left, I thought I scheduled like 2 videos to release on the weekend, and then nothing. I didn't click anything. I think I clicked private, and so nothing actually released. And I was so like upset at myself. But it's okay. It's really not a big deal that my YouTube shorts didn't get released. But I was just like, why I didn't check a single time. I just thought I was getting no notifications because it didn't pop off. That's okay. And then even I've been home for like a day now and I still haven't fixed it. I gotta fix it. Then I also have to make some new videos. Edit some other videos. I had like a microbe fact video that was supposed to get posted, and I'm gonna post it, I think, tomorrow. You get to learn about different microbes. I'm gonna try to do that like on a weekly basis until I get bored. Until I get bored and I can't think of any funny, like, I can't think of any funny microbes. When we start like hitting the bottom of the barrel of microbes, and I'm like, okay, this is starting to get unfun for me and the viewer. But I don't think that should happen for a while, considering there's so many cool bacteria. There's a lot of interesting, like, historical bacteria. It's actually hard to choose, like, what first bacteria I want to talk about. And then, aside from that, I already mentioned I don't have many streams planned. If I had initially wanted to do the adipose stream, where I teach you about adipose tissue, because that was my grad school thesis this Friday. But, I think I realized I don't want to do that this week, considering I'm pretty tired. Because I would have to, like, I would need to prepare for the lesson, because it is kind of like teaching. And, you know, the teaching has to take just a little bit of preparation, even though, like, it's just for stream and it's for fun and content. I would be remiss if I like taught something to my community and the general public, something that was wrong, you know? So I want to prepare for it. So I figured instead this week for our Science Friday stream, we're gonna have like a funny tier list stream, and I'm just gonna rank a bunch of wet lab protocols that I've done, and I think it will be fun. Like the little guys in Doctor Who, I'm not a big... I don't know, like, much, if anything at all, about Doctor Who. My knowledge of Doctor Who comes from, like, secondhand exposure when I was big. I was on Tumblr on 2011, and all you'd see about Doctor Who is, like, people shipping characters of some kind, and, Super Wholock, whatever, like that stuff. That's about all I know. Wet lab protocol? Okay, so wet labs are like when you're in the lab doing experiments, and dry labs are when you are on the computer doing like experimental like modeling. So anytime like you have to like sit down and like you have media open, or like you have your pipette and you have your mice, etc., etc., anything you do on the bench where you have to put gloves on and your PPE, you are doing a wet lab. I know, it's a funny word considering it's not really wet a lot of times. What was the first bacteria of all time? Or what's the closest we know of? I'm trying to think. I would guess it'd be like the algae, wasn't it? Like, it'd probably be like cyanobacteria. I have to think it's algae of some kind, because of the fact it's like... Yeah, it is in fact cyanobacteria. Ancient photosynthetic microorganisms thought to have evolved around 2.4 to 2.5 billion years ago. It's because they're photosynthetic. I think, like, if you were able to survive through, like, photosynthesis, that's like it's a big reason why you were like one of the first guys. There was an episode where a weight loss pill turned people's fat into little creatures at night. That sounds so funny. I'm sure it's like kind of frightening, but the thought of like your fat just turns into a little guy is kind of cute, kind of funny. I like it. So it's like us geologists when we put hydrochloric acid in rocks. No, you don't want to do anything in like a biological lab without gloves on, because it's kind of gross. And also, you're gonna mess up your experiment. Yeah, like, I guess it's like the differences in different sciences, but like when we do a bench experiment, you have to like spray your bench with like ethanol like 100 times over, and then sometimes you have to spray it with like RNase, and like all kinds of aces, and it has to be like it's not sterile because you're not in like a hood that has like the air being flown away, but you have to keep it pretty clean. And also, like I said, if you worked with mice, you're like you wouldn't want to touch anything without gloves because there's probably urine and feces all over the lab. Like unironically, the whole lab is just probably covered in like urine and feces from the mice because they just poop and pee everywhere, like in their cages, and like you let them out for like a second and that it's getting transported into the air and all over. It's gross. I wouldn't like it's not even just for, I guess, the experimental data. It's just like you don't want to touch the feces. Just lick the rocks, you'll be fine. Okay, you can lick the rocks in the biological lab, I guess. Imagine doing anything without gloves on in bio. It's like doing stuff without gloves, but you're a golem. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. I really hated I have my I like had like such a hard time at first when I started lab because for some reason the gloves would react so much on my skin. Like I'd have rashes like every other day. And I don't even know if it's like I don't think it had to do with latex or anything. I think it was just like the nitrile was not very friendly to my skin. And I had to wear like if you've ever had to like get the glove liners, I had to wear those because I was just having rashes on my hand left and right, and I was like, this sucks. My hands are so itchy. I think also it's hard to find gloves in my size. Nobody ever wants to order extra small gloves. I would have to wear like the medium to large gloves, and they're like it's so baggy, and I'm like sweating in them, and the sweat's like not going anywhere, and it's gross. It was so gross. I had to beg Blabs to like, please just buy one box of extra small gloves for me. Just for me. No one's gonna use them but me. Also, the rocks can kill you by touch. Yeah. No, you can't. Please don't lick the rocks. Please. Please don't lick it. Please don't lick, and please use gloves when you use your HCl. That's all I ask. I always wanted like nice gloves because I was the only one at one point. Like I was able to convince them to get the extra small gloves. I was able to get them to like order pretty colored gloves because they were my gloves. So I had like pink gloves. Everyone else had like black or blue gloves. I just like giving you grief. Oh my gosh. I'm hydrating. Well, even though no one gave me the hydration, I have to hydrate. We can't lick the rocks, but some animals can eat the rocks. Seems unfair. I don't know if... I don't think I'll be upset if an animal can eat rock. If the animal that wants to eat rock, they can go ahead and do that. It's like birds, right? Birds eat rock. They have like a little rocky tummy that helps like grind up stuff. That's kind of cool. Imagine if we had like a little rocky tummy to grind things up. I don't think we need that though. I just think the idea of it's cool. It theoretically sounds cool. But it probably would not be great for us, huh? I have a weird part of skin in my hand that is itchy but isn't red, and it's just flaky when I scratch it. Oh, that sounds so like annoying. When I have like flaky skin of any kind, I'm just so annoyed, and I just want to like scratch at it, and I just want it to go away. Go away. Yeah, like this. Yeah. Yeah. The swallowing rocks thing. Yeah. I know it's not all birds, but some birds have that. I think some reptiles do. Yeah. It's not eating the rocks, but it might as well be eating the rocks. I put the Lego in my mouth, and swallow it, and that's me eating the Lego. That remind me, a guy made a phylogenetic tree of Pokemon. They analyzed a bunch of things about Pokemons and their genome and mapped it in an evolutionary tree. Oh, that sounds really fascinating. I want to see that. I would love to see that. That's that kind of like digging deep into like any kind of media and pulling out like obscure information and applying it to like your niche interests is like that's the best kind of the best kind of content. You can share it in the Discord. That way I don't lose it, because I sometimes I go like I'll check it out later and then I forget and then the chat's gone. Some dinosaurs, yes, birds are just had them in place. Ah, interesting, interesting. I'm gonna run out of water at this rate. I'm like hydrating without anyone asking me to hydrate because I'm like dying. Yeah, I'll check it out in the Discord after. I spent 5 years building a DNA base. Oh, 5 years. That took that long. I guess like those kind of projects would take like a lot of information and like time to like map all the data together. That's cool. I'm hydrating. I'm not gonna die. I will live. I know it's only been an hour, but I probably have to already wrap it up soon. I just wanted to like yap with you guys just a bit. Although I'd love to spam hydrate, I know that's obnoxious. You know, if you want to spam it, you can spam it to your heart's content. I would not blame you. I won't drink that much, though. I'll just take a long sip in your honor. I appreciate your hydration efforts. Yeah, it's only been an hour, but I probably am gonna have to wrap it up soon. Not yet, but I have to get dinner and exercise and then work. Then go lock in on my project work and also personal work. And yeah. I don't really want to go to the gym today, but I don't know. What's your opinion on that one virus that was named after an ultra kill boss and also survives an insane amounts of levels of alcohol? Is that I can't remember the it's a bacteriophage, right? I think. I only know like the part where it's a bacteriophage. I don't know a whole lot of it. Let's read about it. Ultra kill virus. Okay, that's bacteriophage. Saying that was not the Minos prime. The actinobacteriophage. Discovery notes: it was found in flower beds outside of college dormitory buildings dug 2 inches deep into the soil. Named after the Minos Prime from the video game Ultra Kill. Bacteriophage. Bacteriophages are scary. I really don't like how they look. Maybe that's the bacteria in me. I'm frightened. I'm scared. They're gonna kill me. They look so unreal. They look like they're not supposed. They shouldn't exist in our reality. Like they look like something born up of like the imagination. I wanted to. I might upload that short. I have like a short of like where I talk, not talk. I just show off a bacteriophage killing a bacteria because I think that is it's a very funny video. It's also like kind of crazy. Interesting. I don't know much about this bacteria. I'm not, like viruses are like so out of my scope. They are definitely. I never took a virology class, and like every class I've ever taken about like immunology, microbiology, I feel like viruses are barely touched upon. Viruses are just like not. Nobody ever wants to talk about them. Nobody care the virus. Viruses are scary, taxonomically speaking. They're very true, very true. They are kind of spooky. It's like how mycology is ignored in bio class. Yeah, mycology is also an aspect that's like, oh, nobody care me. It's literally just bacteriology. Like when it comes to like biology, I think like the best you're gonna hear about E. coli and you're gonna like it. You're gonna be here staph and you're gonna like it. Googled it. Bacteria pages look cool. Yeah. They look like they're so crazy. When I first saw one, I was like, "That's not real. Someone, someone drew this." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a thing. That's just a thing that's out there in the down everywhere, wherever." Thousands of fungi genders. I I really like fungi, and I think they're so cool and interesting. My knowledge is of course limited though. It's crazy. I studied fungi just like for not too long. It was only about a year in my research project, and I still feel like my knowledge is quite limited. The fact that we're undecided whether or not viruses are organisms or not is funny to me. Yeah, that's like a huge debate. I think that debate is gonna go on forever and ever until we ever, just basically forever, because there's no way people are gonna decide on what's living or not. If it's too complicated. What's your opinion on people naming stem cells, specifically bio stuff, after pop culture stuff? Oh, this is like an interesting. It's kind of an interesting problem. I think. I think. I think it's funny at first. I think like, for example, there's the Sonic the Hedgehog gene, and I think it's kind of cute that it was named after Sonic the Hedgehog. But there's like can be like problems down the line sometimes where it feels like we named it after like this cute little fun pop culture aspect, but this when there's a defect in this gene, you can get a serious health condition that, and now you have to tell your patient that they have a defect in the Sonic the Hedgehog gene, and it feels a little maybe inappropriate. And also, I'm not sure. I think it also ends up causing. Sometimes there's like issues with like copyright. I don't think some companies are happy when their cute little pop culture thing is associated with some STEM phenomenon that may or may not cause like be related to some disease down the line. But aside from like that, I think I don't usually mind it. I think it's cute people want to show like how they're a fan of something and, basically memorialize what they love into science forever. It's just unfortunate when there's situations like the Sonic the Hedgehog gene where it's like, ooh, feels a little bad. Feels a little bad that like you have to tell like people they have encephalopathy because they have a mutation in their Sonic the Hedgehog protein. I'm hydrating. But I guess that's like gene related things. I think some like for bacteria, it would be bacteria or like species. Probably pretty rare for something like that to occur. Especially something like this ultra-kill bacteriophage. It sounds like it was just found in the dirt and it don't think it's gonna cause any problems. Maybe it will. Who knows? As a follow-up question, what's your opinion on what we should do about the Hitler beetle? There's a beetle called the Hitler beetle? It's a beetle with a binomial name named after Hitler. I didn't know that. Hold on. And this feels weird to Google. Hitler beetle. And I cannot pronounce that name. Amphitheal Hitlery. Oh, fascinating. Oh, that's really... Oh, that's such a tough problem. I'm sure, like, there's likely not offensive when it was first named. Now, in current context, quite offensive. Do you rename it? I think it would... I feel like it's those things you probably should rename. I'm sure, like... this is, like, an incredibly, like, contentious topic about, like, keeping... Their ecology is damaged by people collecting Nazi paraphernalia, connecting them. Oh my gosh! That's awful that there's, like, even, like, a downstream effect of the fact, like, people are actually associating it with that kind of thing, like that. Oh, that's sad for the beetle. I feel like if it's come to that, then, like, I feel like it's only, like, natural that you should probably rename the species name. Because it's actually causing harm. It would be, like, maybe I would say more contentious of a topic if it was like, okay, there's this beetle, and it's like, you know, it's got a bit of a faux pas name, and ooh, it's kind of gross in current day, and kind of awful, bad, terrible right now. What do we do? But the fact that, like, it is, like, attracting the worst kind of people who are damaging their ecology. There's, like, it's hard to imagine how do you justify that. I change the name. I rule we change the name. I decree. That's so sad. Awful, awful. Don't ruin the bugs, guys. Yeah, I've spoken. The problem is that the body that controls binomial names is a slippery slope, and we might change other names to be universal. I completely get where they're coming from, because I do think it could end up being like, oh my gosh, we're saying, like, what if we also have to change this name and this name and this name? Though I have a feeling it's not as extreme as what these people probably, like, are arguing for. Like, I feel like this is the most likely extreme scenario, but who knows? Maybe there's even worse. There might be something worse out there. Anyway, I don't know. Just take it on a case-by-case basis, guys. Like, in this case, it's causing harm to the organism itself. Oh, thank you for the gift sub, Izzy. Wow. My first gift sub. I don't have any... I also have to work on my alerts. That's another thing added on the project table. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. 7 out of 10. I can't even believe I have 7 subs. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for the head pat. Yay! Oh, wow, 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 wow. I'm hydrating. Okay, I'll take since there's 2, I'm taking an extra long sip. Congratulatory. Okay, another sip. Okay, I'm out of water. Oh, thank you for checking in, Izzy. 2 days now. Okay, Oh, goodbye, Izzy! I really like people communicating purely through channel points. I appreciate you. And I also appreciate the people that are just lurking too. And you're not communicating at all, but you're here you're here vibing. I appreciate that too. Speaking of goodbyes, I think I will be heading out considering the ad wants to play soon and I don't want to get you guys. I don't want to give you guys an ad. So, I will be here tomorrow at 6 p.m. and I will do an art stream and it'll just be more art and yap and yap and art and yap and yap. I don't know what we're going to draw. I'll probably draw something that I need to do for project work. That way I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Ya feel? Ya feel? Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow then. And yeah, that's it. Okay. Bye. I was gonna raid someone, but I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone to raid. 2 microbes with 1 autoclave. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye. Bye.